You are a prisoner in your own skull. It is 3:00 a.m. The world outside is dead silent. But inside your head, it is a war zone. You are replaying a mistake you made 5 years ago. You are simulating a catastrophe at work that hasn't even happened yet. You are paralyzed by scenarios that do not exist. This isn't being thoughtful. This is a disease. It is a weakness that bleeds your energy and destroys your ability to act. In the high-stakes world of sword fighting, if you stop to think, you die. The gap between thought and action is where the blade enters your neck. To survive, the elite warriors of the past needed a psychological kill switch, a way to shut down the noise instantly. In 17th century Japan, a Zen monk named Takuan Soho stood before the deadliest samurai of his era. He taught them that the mind must not stop or dwell on anything. If the mind stops to think, it is trapped. He called this state Mushin, or no mind. Across the globe, over 1,000 years earlier, Marcus Aurelius sat in a freezing tent on the Danube front. He was the most powerful man on earth, yet he was surrounded by plague, betrayal, and Germanic barbarians. He had every reason to panic. Instead, he wrote to himself about the inner citadel, a fortress where the mind is untouched by the chaos outside. Takuan Soho was a mystic advising killers. Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher ruling an empire. They lived 5,000 miles and 14 centuries apart. They spoke different languages. They worshipped different gods. Yet, they discovered the exact same weapon to annihilate overthinking. The samurai called it spiritual enlightenment. The Stoics called it rational command. Today, we are going to strip away the mysticism. We will use the cold logic of the West to decode the secret practice of the East. We are going to give you the manual to turn off the switch. This is the path to Mushin. Let's gain some perspective. You are anxious because your boss sent a vague email. You are losing sleep because you said something awkward at a party 3 years ago. You are paralyzed by the fear of failure in a safe, air-conditioned room. Now, look at the reality where Takuan Soho operated. Japan, early 17th century. The ground is still wet with the blood of the Sengoku Jidai, the era of warring states. Takuan was not a monk who sat on a cushion and hummed. He was the spiritual mentor to the Yagyu clan, the shogun's personal sword instructors. He advised men like Miyamoto Musashi. In this world, overthinking wasn't a mental health issue. It was a death sentence. Picture a duel. 2 men stand 5 feet apart, razor-sharp steel in hand. In this moment, there is no past. There is no future. There is only the cut. If a swordsman sees the enemy's sword move and thinks, he is attacking high, he is dead. If he thinks, I must parry this correctly, he is dead. If he thinks, I hope I don't die, he is already dead. Takuan saw that the moment the mind stops or dwells on anything, the opponent's weapon, your own stance, the fear of death, the flow of movement is broken. He called this the abiding place. When the mind stops, the body freezes. In that fraction of a second of hesitation, the blade cleaves through the collarbone and severs the artery. Takuan's mission was to train these killers to delete that fraction of a second, to remove the mind from the equation entirely so the body could act with the violence of a thunderstorm. Now, shift the scene. Go back 1,400 years, the frontier of the Roman Empire, the Danube River. Marcus Aurelius is in his tent. Outside, the wind howls like a wounded animal. He is not sitting in a marble palace eating grapes. He is on the front lines of the Marcomannic Wars. He has been at war for years. His reality is a nightmare. The Antonine Plague is ravaging his camp. He hears the coughing of dying soldiers day and night. The carts are piled high with bodies, thousands of them burning in pyres because the ground is too frozen to dig graves. His top general, Avidius Cassius, is plotting a civil war to steal his throne. His wife is rumored to be unfaithful. The barbarians are at the gate, ready to burn Rome to ash. The weight of the entire Western civilization rests on the shoulders of one aging, sick man. If Marcus Aurelius engaged in overthinking, the empire would have collapsed. If he allowed his mind to spiral into, "What if I lose?" or "Why is this happening to me?" he would have been paralyzed by the sheer scale of the horror. He didn't have the luxury of anxiety. He had a job to do. He wrote in his journals, which we now know as meditations, not to sound smart, but to survive. He was coaching himself to strip away the emotional narrative and see reality cold and naked. These two men lived in hell. Takuan dealt with the immediate, visceral threat of the blade. Marcus dealt with the crushing, suffocating pressure of leadership during an apocalypse. They didn't conquer overthinking to be happy. They conquered it because the alternative was annihilation. Compare their stakes to yours. You are worried about opinions. They were worried about survival. If they could silence the mind while staring into the abyss, you can silence the mind while staring at your smartphone. The human brain hasn't changed. The mechanism they use to override fear and hesitation is still there. It is waiting for you to access it. Here is where the mysticism dies and the cold mechanics begin. Overthinking is not a personality trait. It is a mechanical failure of the human machine. Takuan Soho diagnosed this failure as the affliction of abiding stopping. When you obsess over a past mistake, your mind abides there. It gets stuck. It freezes on the image of your failure. When you worry about the future, your mind abides on a fantasy. In his treatise, The Unfettered Mind, Takuan gives this brutal instruction to the samurai. If you place your mind on the enemy's sword, your mind is taken by the sword. If you place your mind on your own sword, your mind is taken by your own sword. The mind must be nowhere. This is the essence of Mushin. It is not an empty mind. It is a mind that flows like water. It reflects everything, but it holds on to nothing. It never stops. It never freezes. Now, look at the Western commander. Marcus Aurelius diagnosed the exact same failure, but instead of abiding, he called it opinion, hypolepsis. He realized that overthinking is simply the mind adding a layer of fake narrative on top of reality. The event is, you lost a client. The overthinking is, I am a failure. I will go broke. Everyone will laugh at me. That second part, that is the stopping. That is the mind freezing on a judgment. Marcus writes in Meditations, do not tell yourself more than what the first appearances report. They report that someone has insulted you. They do not report that you have been hurt. Stick to what is there. Add nothing. Do you see the convergence? The Zen master says, do not let the mind stop on the object. The Stoic emperor says, do not let the mind add to the object. They are describing the exact same psychological discipline. The samurai achieves it to slice through a neck without hesitation. The Stoic achieves it to rule an empire without anxiety. Modern neuroscience has finally caught up to these ancient killers. We call this transient hypofrontality. It is the temporary deactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that chatters, analyzes, and doubts. When this shuts down, you enter the zone. You are no longer a person thinking about doing a task. You become the task. There is no voice in your head commenting on the action. There is only the action. The gap between perception and execution is closed. You are not ignoring the problem. You are seeing it so clearly, so nakedly. That thought becomes unnecessary. So, how do we trigger this? How do we turn off the prefrontal cortex on command, without needing a sword at our throat? We use the protocol. Philosophy is useless if you cannot use it when the bullets start flying. You do not need more books. You do not need more meditation apps. You need a combat protocol, a system to force your brain into Mushin when the pressure hits. We have synthesized the teachings of Takuan Soho and Marcus Aurelius into a 3-step operational sequence. This is not a suggestion. This is a drill. Step 1. The somatic breaker. Reset the hardware. Overthinking is not just in your mind. It is in your body. When you spiral, your eyes narrow, your breath becomes shallow, your shoulders hike up, your nervous system is locked in a feedback loop. You cannot think your way out of overthinking. That is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. You must break the loop physically. The samurai called this Fudoshin, the immovable mind, rooted in the immovable body. The action. When the anxiety loop starts, you must execute a hard reset immediately. Stop moving. Freeze your body completely. Fix your gaze. Stare at a single physical object. A pen. A crack in the wall. The texture of your steering wheel. The combat breath. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. This is not relaxation. This is tactical regulation. You are forcing your brainwaves to shift from high beta, panic, to alpha, focus. You are telling your amygdala, we are not being chased by a lion. We are in control. In a boardroom, nobody will notice. In the gym, it looks like focus. But internally, you have just severed the connection to the panic button. Step 2. The reality filter strip, the narrative. Now that the panic is paused, you must kill the story. Remember Marcus Aurelius. The problem is not the event. The problem is the opinion you added to the event. Most men look at a situation and see a tragedy. You must look at it and see data. The action. Apply the stripping method. Describe your problem again. But you are strictly forbidden from using adjectives or emotional words. The overthinking. My boss sent a passive-aggressive email. He hates me. I'm going to get fired because I'm incompetent. The reality filter. My boss sent an email asking for a revision on the report by 5 p.m. Do you feel the difference? The first version carries the weight of the world. The second version is just a task. Takuan Soho warned against the mind abiding on fear. When you strip the adjectives, there is nothing for the mind to abide on. The sticky surface becomes smooth. You have turned a monster back into a shadow. Step 3. The zero lag strike, initiate movement. This is the most critical step. The longer you wait to act, the louder the mind becomes. In Kendo, Japanese fencing, there is a concept called Kiken Tai Ichi. It means spirit, sword, and body are one. It means there is no gap between deciding to strike and striking. In modern psychology, we know that the brain tries to sabotage uncomfortable actions within 5 seconds. The action. Once you have stripped the narrative in step 2, you must take the first physical action within 3 seconds. Not the whole project. Just the first kinetic movement. Scenario. You are terrified to approach a woman. Protocol. Step 1. Breathe. Step 2. She is just a human standing there. Step 3. Move your feet. Scenario. You are overwhelmed by a massive business project. Protocol. Step 1. Breathe. Step 2. It is just a series of documents. Step 3. Open the laptop. Do not negotiate with yourself. Negotiations take time, and time breeds fear. You treat the action like a reflex. The phone rings. Answer it. The alarm goes off. Stand up. The weight is heavy. Lift it. You deny your mind the permission to have an opinion. You are no longer a thinker. You are a vessel of action. That is Mushin. You now possess the weapon. But a weapon in a scabbard is useless. Watching this video was easy. It felt productive. It gave you a hit of dopamine. But let's be brutally honest. Watching this video is just another form of abiding. You are still sitting there, consuming, analyzing, thinking. You are not in the arena yet. Overthinking is a luxury of the comfortable. Your ancestors did not have time to overthink. If they hesitated when the branch snapped in the dark, they were eaten. If they debated the meaning of life while the harvest rotted, they starved. You have the privilege of anxiety because your belly is full and your roof is secure. Do not abuse that privilege. Every second you spend trapped in the mental loop is a second you steal from your own potential. It is a second you steal from the people who rely on you. The world does not need more philosophers. It does not need more critics in the comment section. It does not need more men who are planning to be great. The world needs men who act. The next time you feel that friction, that hesitation before the cold shower, that pause before the difficult conversation, that freeze before the risk, recognize it for what it is. It is the enemy. It is the stopping mind. Do not negotiate with it. Do not debate it. Hit the somatic breaker. Strip the narrative. Strike with zero lag. The sword is already drawn. Do not let it freeze in your hand. Turn off this video. Put down the phone. And move.